So yes, while maybe not likely, there is a potential outcome that could see the charter system get dismantled.
Rick Hendrick has just been pulled into NASCAR's biggest scandal yet. A high-stakes legal battle over power, money, and control is heating up, and now Hendrick and Roger Penske have both been ordered to testify under oath. For years, Rick Hendrick has been one of NASCAR's most respected and influential figures, a team owner whose success helped define the modern era of the sport. But this latest twist changes everything. What started as a quiet legal disagreement has turned into a full-blown courtroom drama that could reshape NASCAR's future forever. It all centers around an explosive antitrust lawsuit filed by 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports against NASCAR, claiming the sanctioning body has been abusing its control over the sport to suppress team revenues and maintain a stranglehold on the competition. Until recently, Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske had only been peripheral figures in this case, but that changed drastically when NASCAR announced its intention to put both on the stand during the trial without notifying the plaintiffs until after the discovery phase had already closed. This led to an emergency motion from 2311 and Front Row, accusing NASCAR of sandbagging and demanding depositions of both team owners to avoid unfair trial surprises. In their court filing, the plaintiffs said the late disclosure certainly comes as a surprise to plaintiffs, as NASCAR waited until well after the close-of-fact discovery to disclose these witnesses. They accused NASCAR of keeping Hendrick and Penske's involvement quiet despite subpoenaing their teams and accessing financial records and communications related to the 2025 charter negotiations. Though the team stopped short of asking for Hendrick and Penske to be barred from testifying, they made it clear that without pre-trial depositions, any testimony from them could derail the trial. Judge Kenneth D agreed, ruling in favor of the teams and granting the motion to depose both men. Plaintiff's motion states that NASCAR has indicated it takes no position on this motion. For good cause shown, the court will grant the motion and permit plaintiffs to depose Mr. Hendrick and Mr. Penske prior to trial. Judge Bell wrote, "This dramatic turn of events has pulled Rick Hendrick directly into a controversy that's already shaken NASCAR's leadership. It's not just about him taking the stand, it's about what he knows, what documents may surface, and what his testimony could reveal about NASCAR's internal dealings." The scandal itself revolves around the charter system introduced in 2016 to provide teams with financial stability and guaranteed entry into races. But according to the lawsuit, NASCAR is leveraging its exclusive control over these charters to suppress the value of race team services, essentially operating as a monopsony, the only buyer in the market. In two major rulings, Judge Bell has sided with the plaintiffs, finding that NASCAR is indeed the sole purchaser in a clearly defined market for premier stock car racing team services. That market, he ruled, is distinct and has no viable substitutes like IndyCar or Formula One. NASCAR can't argue on one hand that no other series compares, and then claim those series are substitutes when it suits them legally. That legal contradiction, called estoppel, was pivotal in the court's ruling. Bell wrote, "The same transaction, the sale and purchase of premier stock car racing services, cannot be a different relevant market depending only on which side is complaining. Most simply put, NASCAR made a strategic decision in asserting its counterclaim and must now live with the consequences." With that, the judge determined that NASCAR does indeed hold monopsony power and has maintained near total control of the market for decades. This isn't just courtroom jargon. It means the upcoming trial will now focus on whether NASCAR used that market power to impose below-market charter deals on teams through coercive anti-competitive practices. Rick Hendrick, as the head of one of NASCAR's most successful teams and a key player in charter negotiations, is now seen as a potential witness to how those deals were formed, enforced, and possibly abused. His deposition could uncover internal discussions, financial strategies, or even direct communications with NASCAR executives that would back the plaintiff's case. But there's another layer. The judge's ruling also dropped a major bombshell. The very legality of the charter system itself is now in question. There is also evidence in the record from which the jury and/or the court could conclude that the charter agreements themselves are anti-competitive, restraints on trade with respect to Cup Series aspirants who don't have charters. Bell noted, especially as they limit access to the Cup Series by increasing barriers to entry for new teams. That line sent shockwaves through the garage. The charter system has become a cornerstone of modern NASCAR economics. It determines which teams get to race, how TV money is split, and the resale value of a team. If the court rules the system illegal, the implications could be catastrophic, not just for NASCAR, but for teams like Hendrick Motorsports, who have invested heavily into the model. 12 chartered teams have already submitted affidavits urging NASCAR and the plaintiffs to settle before any ruling can invalidate the system altogether. But so far, 2 rounds of mediation have failed. The case is moving forward. What makes this even more volatile is that Rick Hendrick's organization, Hendrick Motorsports, is often seen as NASCAR's gold standard. They've won multiple championships, field top-tier drivers like Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, and hold significant influence within the sport. If their internal dealings or communications suggest any coordination with NASCAR that supports the plaintiffs' claims, it could blow the case wide open. This legal battle isn't happening in a vacuum either. Sponsors, media partners, and potential investors are all watching closely. The charter system has been one of NASCAR's biggest selling points in recent years, used to attract long-term partners and encourage new team investments. If that system is dismantled or significantly changed, it could impact everything from sponsorship contracts to broadcast rights. In response to the court's recent decisions, NASCAR issued a carefully worded statement. NASCAR looks forward to proving that it became the leading motorsport in the United States through hard work, risk-taking, and many significant investments over the past 77 years. NASCAR believes in the charter system and will continue to defend it from 2311 and Front Row's efforts to claim that the charter system itself is anti-competitive. The plaintiffs, represented by lead attorney Jeffrey Kessler, were blunt in their reaction. "We are very pleased with the court's decision today, ruling in our favor." Not only does it deny NASCAR's motion for summary judgment, but it also grants our partial summary judgment motion, finding that NASCAR has monopoly power. We're prepared to present our case to the jury and are focused on obtaining a verdict that benefits all of the teams, partners, drivers, and the fans. For Rick Hendrick, the stakes couldn't be higher. His team's operations, business model, and even its long-term value could be affected by the outcome of this case. And now he must sit for a sworn deposition that could open the door to layers of previously undisclosed information about NASCAR's economic engine. As one of the most respected figures in racing, Hendrick's testimony will carry weight not just legally, but publicly. The garage area will be watching. So will the fans, and so will the sponsors who invest millions into these teams. The court date is set for December 1st. Until then, both sides will continue gathering evidence, preparing arguments, and, as we now know, grilling 2 of the biggest names in NASCAR under oath. This scandal is no longer just about NASCAR and 2 ambitious race teams. It's about power, it's about fairness, and it's about whether the system built to protect NASCAR's future has instead been used to control it. Rick Hendrick didn't ask to be in the spotlight this time, but now he's right at the heart of the biggest scandal the sport has faced in decades, and what he says next could change everything.